Long said that one of the most intelligent and kindest evangelical apologists out there is Michael Licona, who I've known somewhat for probably about 12 years or 13 years, something like that. I also just I don't follow him online, so I didn't really know this, but around a year ago, I became aware that he was a Trump supporter, and that was deeply disappointing for me. And it kind of raises that question that I think many people deal with, which is how do you understand when very intelligent, kind people support a person who is foolish and wicked, like Donald Trump? And I want to come back to that in a subsequent video. But when I was wanting to address that in this video, I got sidetracked by the fact that Mike Licona is also a big supporter of Elon Musk. And I wanted to talk about that here. And so let's start off by taking a look at his one of his tweets about Musk. He has many, well, not many, but he's more than a few over the years where he's talked about Musk. And I want to look at that and then look at some of the concerns I have about Elon Musk. So this is the first the tweet I'm going to look at. He just says in response to Elon Musk, Elon, you are loved and you're a good man. Because of you and others like-minded, you have moved the GOP to where others are. No new party is needed. I believe President Trump's comments about you were uncalled for and probably false. And then he goes on. But what really caught me there was this statement, Elon, you are loved, and specifically, you are a good man. What do you mean by good man? It, I first became aware of some significant character deficits in Elon Musk back in 2018. You may recall this. So this was when the children were trapped in that Thai cave, and there was a British diver who was helping to rescue the children, and that diver lived in Thailand. Elon Musk made a publicity stunt by claiming he could get a mini sub in to rescue the children. This fellow, Vern Unsworth, called it a publicity stunt. And Vern Unsworth was key in helping to rescue the children, by the way. And Musk referred to him then on Twitter as, quote, pedo guy. So that was clearly an implication that he was a pedophile because he was a man living in Thailand. Well, that right there told me the kind of person Elon Musk is. Um, this is, of course, well known. The fact that he did this salute a couple times at a public rally, I have no doubt, but that the performance of that clearly is a Nazi salute. And it makes sense given that Elon Musk has long promoted far-right conspiracy information and supported the AfD, which is a Nazi-leaning far-right party in Germany. This is a great example of the meanness of Elon Musk and also his penchant for spreading vile disinformation. So back in 2022, a man broke into Paul and Nancy Pelosi's house in the San Francisco area. Paul Pelosi, I think about 80 years old at the time, was home alone, and the man attacked him with a hammer, hitting him in the head. And the police came and actually witnessed the man hit him in the head. That man later on was convicted and sent to prison. But at the time, Elon Musk posted a tweet promoting an unfounded conspiracy theory that Pelosi was in a gay relationship with this man, and they were having a sexual encounter that went askew. Unbelievably evil. He deleted that tweet later on, but he has a long history of promoting disinformation, conspiracy theories, and just vile, evil stuff like this. What I want to say a couple words about before I have some concluding thoughts, however, is well, first of all, the fact that Elon Musk spent hundreds of millions of dollars to get Donald Trump elected, And this was a very corrupt quid pro quo, which you kind of saw. He expected the promotion then of all his businesses as a result. And in March, Donald Trump actually held a promotion for Teslas on the White House lawn. I mean, the level of corruption in that is hard to get your mind around. The United States is becoming a kleptocracy. And then the ineptness with which Musk handled his Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, where, for example, he had a man who was 21 who he appointed him to be one of the head people in Doge, and the guy's name was Big Balls. And then the cuts that Elon Musk made, for example, cutting Ebola research funding, which critics pointed out this was going to lead to new pandemics. But the cruelest, when there are so many cruel and arbitrary cuts that Elon Musk made, summarily just firing thousands and thousands of people, and then often having to rehire them again. They fired people um, in the nuclear, I don't know, the nuclear department, the energy department, where they worked with nuclear weapons and had nuclear weapons information. Doge fired these people, realized they needed these people in order to manage the nuclear stockpile, but then didn't have contact information to rehire them. I mean, the level of stupidity. Um, but the one that I wanted to highlight was when Elon Musk shut down USAID. So the department, since the Kennedy administration, this has been the way that the United States has extended soft power around the world through humanitarian efforts. It's a wonderful laudatory enterprise. And there's so much disinformation and lies being spread about USAID. The Lancet and the Lancet is one of the leading academic medical journals in the world. They just published a study, quote, evaluating the impact of 2 decades of USAID interventions and projecting the effects of defunding on mortality up to 2030, a retrospective impact evaluation and forecasting analysis. And this, I can't get my mind around the numbers that the Lancet is looking at here for the number of people that will die because of what Elon Musk did. So I'm going to read from a couple excerpts. First of all, the report says our estimates show, unless the abrupt funding cuts announced and implemented in the half of 2025 and overseen by Elon Musk, if they're not reversed, a staggering number of avoidable deaths could occur by 2030. Okay, what do they mean by a staggering number? This is what they mean. According to the forecasting models, the current steep funding cuts, coupled with the potential dissolution of the agency, could lead to more than 14 million additional deaths in the next 5 years. 14 million people dying, averaging more than 2.4 million deaths per year. These deaths include 4 to 5 I don't know if that's 4 to 5 or 4.5 million among children younger than 5 years, more than 700,000 deaths annually. That's what Elon Musk did. Mike Licona calls this person a good person. What does this do? First of all, how screwed up does your moral compass have to be to not see what a deeply dysfunctional and malevolent person Elon Musk is? And then to see that, probably, I'm sure Mike Licona would say he's pro-life. To say you're pro-life and to say nothing about the shutting down of USAID that is going to lead to 14 million deaths, including deaths of millions of children just in the next 5 years. I don't know. I don't have words for this. It is so infuriating, and I'm so angry at American evangelicals and especially the ones like Mike Licona that people look to as moral guides, as having intellectual insight and wisdom when they could be so fatuous and so deprived of a functioning moral compass as to say that somebody like Elon Musk is a good person and to have nothing to say about the deaths of millions of children. This is an indictment of Mike Licona. It's an indictment of evangelical apologetics. It's an indictment of American evangelicalism generally. And that's part one. So in part two, I'm going to take a look at Mike Licona's comments on Donald Trump.